Hello, I'm making this video, and I'm really making it but this one's for TikTok because I'm God's chosen, and we finally got to the end of this war. And I listen. I can't take credit for it really. I have to give that credit for God. He gets the glory and all this stuff because I didn't fight these battles. He did. I stood with him. I stood with him because, well, why did I stand with him? I'll tell you what. Let me put that into some decent words. Okay. Hope this thing's going still. Hope it is. Anyway, the words I'd have to say is, I didn't do it for me. I kind of did, but really I did it because God asked me to. And as soon as I got on here tonight, I had a lady, I'm not going to name names or anything, but I had a lady tell me, I ain't shit, And I hadn't even said anything. Yeah, I said, no, I'm not. I guess, okay, I'm not shit. But God is. And the way I see it, since God is, and He asked me to do this thing, well then it's my honor to do it. It's been a fight all through it, really. And don't think that every time someone talks to me the way that lady did tonight, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm just as human as everyone, But I can back off and be okay because I didn't deserve that. I didn't do anything to anybody. For not have done anything to anybody, I sure have put up with a lot of crap. And why? Because people are jealous or something? Listen, don't be jealous. Just know that a man was called by his Father in heaven. That's all. He called me, he asked me to do something for it, and I answered that call. I didn't do it to piss off you. I didn't do it to make people feel jealous and how dare him do something that we didn't do. I did it because God asked me to. And I happen to love God. Okay? And many of you do too. So, if he actually came to you one night dressed in God's clothes, the kind of clothes that God's in, let me tell you what that was. He got long hair like mine, kind of like mine, but it was white. Anyway, the thing that really tripped me out is because he had a breastplate on, like he was a warrior. Our God is a warring God, and what does he war for? He wars for his children, us, those that he put on this planet to do what he expected us to do, to make the best of it, and to love each other and help each other through it. We didn't have to do that. Sure, we could be assholes all the time. And what good is that? No, I choose to do the other thing. Not to keep up with people who tell me I'm not shit. Not to keep up with brothers and sisters who get with my old friends and to laugh at me and mock me and whatnot. Not all that. No, I choose to do the other things. Like meet people out there and believe me, I've met a lot of good people. People that I'm just amazed at just how good of people they are. And who didn't judge me. And listen, I'm not that good at this. But you can believe this much. When I'm talking to you, I mean it. I'm authentic about it, I mean everything I say. And when I tell you that I love God, it's because God loved me. And, I remember that night when you did come, and I wasn't hearing too many I love yous or, you're unique to me, and I made you for this. So I never heard that from anybody. Fact of the matter is, God had to build me up. He had to get me back up. I was a mess, and I had to be healed from all that because my life wasn't ever that great. Now many of yours aren't that great, but it's not because necessarily because you're not great, because many of you do have greatness in you. It's just going to take somebody, who cares about you, and he truly does care. Not someone who's just trying to, ride on your back or something, to let you know it and stick with you and care about you enough to walk you through those hard times, because they do get hard, and we don't get over it lightly, especially when it comes in the form of 60 years or better. Remember that when you're treating people like a bad way, that everything that you do, it affects them. Believe it. You may say, he's okay, No, it affects him. It affects him. And everything that you do to hurt him, it hurts. So why don't you be, instead of that person that calls someone that says, but gets jealousy twinge in them, or why don't you be that person that says, hey man, hey, okay, no, I'm not great, but I can be. And boy, if you kind of would have just turned that thing around and built somebody up a little bit, I think that would have showed your greatness, instead of to get jealous because I answered the call to God. That's all I did. I didn't do anything bad. I didn't do anything to piss off anybody. I just answered God. I said, yeah, I'll do it. But why me? Believe me, I say, why me? You know what he said? Because I love you. That's all he had to say. He had my vote. Because you know why I believed him? Not because he was the only one telling me that, because he probably was, but it's just the way he said it. I believed him. I didn't have a whole lot of that in my life, and I screwed up a lot in my life, just like everybody else. I was not perfect. I wasn't anybody's model of perfection. But the matter is, they could find a million things that I wasn't good at, and what I was just human, So listen. So I'll tell you now. I'm on here because I'm God's chosen. And what an honor that is, Not because it makes me better, but because I'm honored that to be chosen by God. Because to me, He is great. God, who sent His Son down here to die for us, and to get us to this place where now we can bring in heaven on earth and be a part of that. Which by the way, all of you people out there get to be part of that. And I hope, instead of fighting against us, that you'll join in and help us build this heaven on earth. Because it's for us, it's for our children, it's for our legacy. It's for God. What did God intend for us? Well, I think we got to look at it and say, He didn't intend us to be bickering and fighting or calling each other names. He called us to be a family of man. When it comes down to it. So I always tell people, listen, come join us, come be with us, Hey, do you ever believe that right today, our ancestors are staying up there in heaven, and they're rejoicing. They are having a celebration tonight because this war is over. Now, my ancestors are going to do what they say they're going to do, and so I don't know what's transpired yet. But I listen. I'll stand with them. Know that, because they stood by me, and they did. I mean, my grandmother, my grandfather. Contrary to what some people may think, we don't die when we pass away from here. We go on to a life in the spirit, And believe me, if we've done our jobs well here and while we were on Earth and in our lives, we're probably going to be a guide to somebody in our lineage, and we're going to keep an eye on them. And we're going to make sure that they get through what right now you've got guides in your lineage, and they are, making sure that you make the right turns and do the right things and not screw up too bad, and you grow in this thing called life on Earth, because that's what it is. It's lessons. It's lessons that you come here to fill up and do, And when you're done, you'll elevate to that, And that's what I do. When I'm on the other side here, I'm an angel, and I'm also a teacher. And I teach souls as they before they are heading down to do their lessons on Earth. This time I came with them, and many times before that I have. Did I know that before? No, I had to remember all that. And y'all, all of y'all, you came down here with a contract with God to finish something, do something that you were supposed to do, and then get through that stuff and elevate better, be better each day that you can be. Be the very best you can be. Don't worry about, I'm not good enough. Don't worry about that. I'm not shit. Okay, like she said. Okay, I'm not shit. Don't worry about me, though, because I don't compete with you. I compete with the guy I was yesterday. That's what you need to do. Compete with that guy. Because in the end, it's your heart. Mine's already been weighed. But yours has to be weighed. If you haven't know what that is, weighing of the hearts, that's where they put a feather on, like the Libra scale, They put a feather on one side of it, and they put your soul on the other. And that has to weigh out. I mean, it's got to balance out. If it doesn't balance out, you have a lot more work to do before you get to go upstairs, So you want to do the things it takes to heal whatever troubles or traumas that you've had in your lifetime. Do that, just, think about it, let it get through you, and reflect on it. Maybe you didn't do anything wrong, or saying, but maybe it hurts your feelings. Those hurts weigh down that soul, so you want to do that. It's real important. And because we're at that end, we're almost there, and it's time for me to wake you all up, see? That's why I was called here, to wake up all the people who aren't awake yet. Now, there are many light workers and stuff there. They're waking up. If they're not woke up, well, guys, you gotta get up. It's time to get up. We're on the job now. You're on the clock. But the people who don't know anything about that, it's time to wake up. It's time to recognize that you have a soul. You have a spirit inside of you. I mean, we are mind, body, and spirit. That spirit sometimes, for some people, it never does wake up, but it's supposed to. But people don't know. I didn't know a lot about that, but I started waking up, and there was a lady named Ruth who was kind of the catalyst to my awakening. I don't know how she's doing right now, but she was supposed to be my counterpart. She had other ideas, I guess, but that's okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm mad at her about it. Just married and all that shit, But anyhow, but I wanted to say, okay, to the people who think I ain't shit, I'm saying, okay, I'm not shit. And I never hurt my feelings like that. I mean, listen, I can only do what I can do. I can only be the guy I'm supposed to be, And if you don't like me, I'm sorry, Sorry I didn't make the grade, but it really doesn't matter what you think. No more than it matters what I think of you, And I don't have jealousy in me. I don't envy people or whatever they're doing in their life. I don't know you well enough to care what you're doing in your life, but I hope that you get it together and have a happy life to the end, because that's all you want to do. You want to do your lessons and stuff, and you want to have a happy life. You want to have your kids and have your wives and husbands and family and love each other. And if you're doing that, and when you go to meet your maker, if all the people that are supposed to love you, you lived a pretty good life. So work on that, just do that. Be alright. It'll be alright, man. But no, I haven't done anything really great and wild that anybody else hasn't done. I simply answered the call because all of us, most of us anyway, have some kind of a calling, So, if you get called to do something, do it. It pays benefits when you get to heaven. I mean, crowns. There are crowns in heaven. I'd rather go to heaven as a street cleaner, trash man. No, nothing bad on trash man or street cleaners. I'm just listen. I'd rather go to hell as a king. You know what I mean? How can I do that? Well, I know that God gave us a gift. He gave us His Son. Well, I accept that gift. And don't forget that gift. So, whenever I do screw up, I can hit my knees and tell Him, listen, I'm sorry, I screwed up, I'm human. Please, may I have mercy or may I have grace. And, God is always, He's very faithful to forgive. That's His job, He's good at it. Me, not so much all the time. So, I have to work on it. It's a process. But, I do better with it every day, I came on here really to tell you that listen, all through this, when people were just giving me the blues and stuff, there was one guy, two guys, really, him and his dad, stuck by me no matter what. Even there were times I didn't even want to get up and go out. Listen, you can only take so much hurt, and but you're crying. Even grown men like me do. But that guy, he never let me down. And there were times I yelled at him and stuff. I felt bad. But he took that yelling. He took it, and because he knows I'm human. And, it's a rough spot I was in here, being the one who had to do this. I had to walk that straight line for all these years, and it's a tough, it's a tough walk. But God said, you're the black sheep, you're the curse breaker, you're strong enough to do this. I know you are. And I was. I did it. But, there are times when I wanted to quit. But he was always there to say, no, don't quit. Don't quit. We're going to get you through this, You see, that's the God that we have. I mean, a lot of people may be scared of God, and I know I used to be. But the guy I met, he was as human as you and I. More human, even. And he loved us like nobody's business. He made no bones about that. He loved us. So, when you pray tonight, when you go to bed, whatever, if you're up, I ask you to give a little extra love to that guy, because he's been working for thousands of years to get us back in the garden. It wasn't just to save us. First he had to save us. Now he's trying to get us back to the garden, so that we're welcome in his garden. Think about that, for you. Get too scared to say, hey, I love you, God. He talked to you like anybody else. He did me. I didn't have to, hit my nail, get on my face or anything, No, he was just as respectful of me as I was to him. And I yelled at him too. So he's a little more human, better at being human than I am, But I hope that I see all of you as we start bringing this heaven on earth to bear. I do. I hope that that you realize that we are all of the same family. I don't care what color we are. I don't care if what language we speak. When it comes down to it, we are all of that guy's family. He's the one who put us on this planet. So, welcome, my brothers and sisters, and I love you all anyway. If you don't love me, I do. I love you with the love of Christ, And I hope that when you see me, next time you see me, that you realize that you don't have to be jealous of me. I'm no better than you are. Maybe I ain't shit. As you said. But hey, I don't care. I'm just doing the best I can, just like you are. And I hope that whenever God calls on you, that you take that call, that you answer that call. Because there's something inside of you that makes you unique for me, that to be able to do something I can't do. Yeah, I got a job that most people cannot do. It's true, I do. But so do all of you. You all are unique in some way. God put something in you, Maybe it's the way you treat your kids, your mother your kids, I don't know. Maybe it's the way you'll get up and run for anybody if they're in trouble, I don't know. I don't know you. But we all have gifts. We all do. Find out what gifts you are having and use them. Use them to the glory of God for mankind. for the earth. And know that we are going to change this world. We're going to change this world, and we're going to bring forth a generation of people that will be a holy generation. Not me. I mean, I would be that. That's my goal to get there, but it's tasked to me to do so. But this is a holy generation. This is to be a generation of warriors. You know, who won't be afraid. You know, who will march for God. You know that. It's prophecy. God kind of rewrote our story, see. I mean, not everything in the Bible is going to happen just the way it says. God rewrote a bunch of that story. If we can learn to get along and love each other, it'll stay pretty sane and pretty, peaceful. If we go around and being real pieces of work and stealing from people and killing people and all that stuff, things that we know we can't go around doing to make good or get a good heaven on earth. Well, then guess what? That can be changed. So, but I know mankind is bad and good, but I like to think that they're more good than they are bad. They're all more of the light than they are all dark. But we all have a little bit of everything in us. So, I'm not perfect. I've got some darkness in me. And so I do my best to integrate that darkness into my spirit, along with the light. And I hope that the light outweighs a lot, outweighs the darkness in me. And I hope I'm not judged too severely for who I am, what I've done. You know what I mean? Just like I don't do the judging. That's his job. But you can believe when he's screwing up, he's not afraid to walk up to you and say, what are you doing? You think that's the right thing to do? Well, I kind of back off that of you, and he taught me a lot, I'm telling you. It's been a long road. So, but he never talked that. He did not give me disrespect. Even when sometimes I felt like doing that to him. But I, just being, blown off steam. So I should never do that, but when you're up against some of the things I was up against, and some of you know the story, sometimes it's hard to hold your tongue, but his grace is sufficient. Let's just say that. He got me through it. So this guy that ain't shit is tired. And I love you all over I do. I get a kick out of that. Yeah, right. Been a long time since someone just boldly just told me that. Right out. I didn't know that person. Okay, well maybe I'm not. I'll check that. I'll have to reflect on that. See just how bad I am. I don't think I'm that bad, but could be. I'm not opposed to checking it out and finding out. To the people I do know, thank you for sticking by me and hanging with me even when I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing. And really, thank you for being friends. The people that will stay with me on this walk, and many of them don't realize just how much that was important to me, because it can get lonely, So anyhow, guys, I'm going to say good night here. And I hope this isn't too long. I don't even know how to do these on TikTok, but I'm going to give it to TikTok because they'll know who I am. Okay? All right. Good night, and God bless you all. All right, bye-bye.